So before I head out of town for a couple of days for my quick end of season little vacation, I needed to get a couple things out of my truck. So I decided to come over and take a few minutes to take a look at my to-do list so that I can be thinking about what order I want to do things in and start getting prices on parts or arranging with shops to have the work done. So at one point, I blew a suspension airbag. I pinched off the airline so that I could drive to a shop and not have to pay to be towed to get the airbag replaced. Well, when I pinched it off a little farther from the airbag than I should have, a little farther from the connection than I should have. So we ended up having to cut about 2 inches off, maybe 2.5, which meant that then that left that airline a little too short from the connection of the valve where it was coming from to that airbag. So that's one of the things that's on my list, is while it is a DOT compliant splice, I would like to take that whole thing out and put one new airline in. Less parts to go bad. I think I carried my list into the house and I'm not finding it in here, but I need to move to the top of the list, cleaning this poor truck after having lived in it for the last 8 months. And I did sweep it regularly, but you know, I worked in a lot of dust and it just really needs a very good internal cleaning. Still need to get the clutch replaced, but after all these tires, I feel like I'm still recovering from that expenditure. And while the clutch is annoying the absolute bejeepers out of me, but I do need to get that done. And then you can probably see, although it's kind of dark, that I have a leak. And I have learned with the help of very kind mechanics and people that are knowledgeable about these DD15 engines that what is likely leaking are pass-through connectors for the injectors. Don't come at me because I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm still deciding if I'm going to tackle that work myself or not. A couple mechanics that I really trust assure me that is a task that I can accomplish. But it's on the side of the engine, you guys. I think I have a fear factor. So I need to get some numbers and decide if it's worth me saving the money to tackle that fear factor, or if I hire that done so that I feel a little more confident about it. But I really can't put that off any longer because it is leaking oil. I put it off longer than I should have for sure, because what I think now is happening, I had an emission errors come back. I believe that it is probably related to that because that's probably throwing the injection rate off. And this pesky antenna is another thing that I want to change. So it mounts down in the mirror housing, and I had help finding how to reconnect it when it was disconnected and not working for my CV. Love to replace it and put one of the springs on because that's the passenger side. So I'm going to hit trees. It's just going to happen. So many of the places that I was delivering were narrow driveways that were tree covered. That's a given for me. As much as I would love to avoid it, it's just a given. So I would love to be able to put one of those springs on, but when I look at the mechanics of that, since the bracket is down in the mirror and the spring goes like on top of the bracket, it won't fit like that with the housing coming up another couple of inches. So I need to do some more research on that and see if I can't find an extender from the bracket up that then I can put the housing on and then put the spring and then the antenna. Or if I'm going to have to try and fabricate something, or get help fabricating something to be able to move that up so that I can make that a better situation that will not beat the crap out of my poor antenna. So I'm going to start thinking about that while I'm on the beach. Stay warm.